Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us today. We're launching back into the business systems project. We kind of fell by the wayside for a while. When I was preparing for this presentation, it might have been by itself to have business systems. It helps with your consistency to make sure that everybody's getting the same level of service. It helps you be more effective because you've actually sat down and thought about how do I want to do this process to get maximum effectiveness out of it, and it makes it more efficient because you're not working off of memory. You have a system that you're following that just makes things much better. So today we're going to talk about providing weekly listing reports to your seller. And how wonderful would it, well, first off, let me back up. The number one complaint that sellers have against listing agents is that we put it on the MLS, we drop a sign in the yard, and we go dark. They don't hear anything from us unless there's a showing, or somebody has an inquiry, has a question. They don't hear anything. They don't know what's going on. So I resolved to correct that and began doing a weekly listing report for my sellers. So wouldn't it be marvelous if we could show graphics and data to the seller on how the market is responding to the listing? It really helps to keep them engaged, and the graphical representation of the market response. Oftentimes they're the ones that go, oh, they see interest ramp up and then it starts falling. Frequently, they're the ones to suggest the price reduction. So that's one of the benefits of that. So let's look at where we get this data. My lovely assistant, Laurel Kays, has her screen up. In order for me to do this live, I need to have an active listing. I don't have one right now, so Laurel's agreed to share her screen. And so if she'll go down to the middle there in my listings and go to my hit counters, she's got one for her one active listing. We see this one, excuse me, 4401 Woodstock. Some really interesting information here. This listing is shown up in 411 client portals where an agent has set up an automated search for them. 223 of those clients have actually looked at the listing. 9 of them selected it as favorites. 3 of them said, hey, it's a possibility. And then the agent views, 814 agent views. So you think this might be valuable information for the seller to look at how things are going and show, hey, I'm doing my job. It's getting exposure. Any questions about this? Very good. Let's move on to Realtor.com. When you set up a professional account, an agent account with Realtor.com, it will allow you to have access to all this wonderful data. So Laurel she logged on, she went to her listings, this Woodstock came up. And if you'll click on that send seller report, and then click on preview report. So you could send this directly to your seller, but I prefer to do it in a package. So here's some interesting information. Here's the list price. It's been on the market 25 days. The comps have been on the market for 50 days. Go ahead and mute your microphones and turn your camera. I'm still struggling with my stupid country internet.
You want me to turn off video too?
Yeah, I think that might help. Hey, Henry, good to see you, bud. So on the search result views, 46,000 times this property is shown up in the search reviews compared to the 25,000 for the comparables. Listing detail views, gosh, what, 5-6 times higher than the comps. So yeah, this shows that Laurel's done a good job of marketing this property. If you'll scroll down, nice little graphical representation of how the listing's performing each week. And this is cumulative. So it can be a little deceptive. It looks like the interest is going up and up. Actually, the increase is kind of incremental, but still, this is really valuable data to share with your client. If you scroll down a little bit further, here you can see the week by week performance with the search result views and the listing detail views. I actually pull this data and use it in Excel, and I'll show that to you later. So any questions about the data on Realtor.com? Okay, let's move on to Zillow.
Hey, I didn't unclick mute real quick. Does it cost to set up an account on Realtor? It's free, right?
All this is free.
That's what I thought. Okay, thanks.
Free is good. So she goes to the listings in Zillow. And we'll go to Woodstock again. And when we scroll down, we will see how you can do a recorded tour.
Okay, now where is it now? I lost it.
You click your back button and see where it takes you. Okay, there you go. Go to your listings again.
Okay. Oh, I messed up. So if I go to Agent Hub listings,
Uh-huh.
but it didn't, there it is. All right, I won't touch anything else.
Okay, go ahead and open that link and scroll down. How valuable is that? Day by day, how many people are looking at this on Realtor.com? Click the last 30 days. So, we tell people, you put on the listing, there's big interest, and then it wanes. And so, we had big interest the first, that second day, it hit really high. And then we had a lull, it bounced up a little bit, but it's trending down as we expect when the property's been on the market for this length of time. We didn't talk about, Laurel, we didn't talk about Redfin. You can go to redfin.com and search the listing, and there with just a regular public account, it'll show how many views have been on that listing. So that's another way that you can share your data. So let me show you how I share this information with my sellers. If you'll let me share my screen, Laurel. Whoops, I brought up the wrong thing. So you can see this example email. So this is an example of the first week. This is a listing for 69 acres out in the country. We had decent activity on this first partial week, but no showings. I got a text from the guy that owns the property next door. We were using his driveway as access into the property, and he didn't like that. I should have asked and avoided this to start with. But so yeah, we weren't able to use his access anymore. Had Twist Tours coming out to do the drone photography, and we'll get the YouTube video ad and the Facebook ad going up. So here are the calls and the showing activity for this first week. And I just document these throughout the day. And then on Monday mornings, I open my spreadsheet, drop this information in there. We had all these calls. I don't include the phone numbers for just everybody that this client's a friend that I've known for a long time. I have no concerns about him going around my back and, contacting agents or buyers directly. So the online activity, this is from that hit counter. It was viewed 70 times, one favorite, no possibilities, 81 agents viewed it, and I had it listed both as land and farm and ranch. On the farm and ranch side, not quite as many views, but more agent views. So we just had 4 days of data on Zillow. And so, it started out kind of small and increased. Realtor.com, 302 views, 25 detail views. And Zillow does a daily, Realtor.com does weekly. So this is the land, this is the farm and ranch, and then Redfin.com. I just went there, looked at the listing, and saw that it had 28 views. And then I added up how many total views we had that first week. So that's the first week. The second, this one is on a different property that had really good activity. And this one, I chose just to take screenshots of the data display on the different online portals. So you can see that in the last 30 days, we had big time interest starting off. It fell off. And then Zillow just kind of died for a while here and then started picking back up. The Realtor.com, the search results, the listing detail views, that's still pretty decent, 1,700. So then I outlined, these are the inquiries and the showings that we had. We had a lot of showings. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that day. Fortunately, I showed this a lot, and fortunately, it's like 2 miles from my house, so it wasn't too bad. So offers, we did have one offer that was received and rejected. It was lowball. I give him my analysis. The showing activities declined, but the volume's still good. We could still get a decent as-is offer. And, I expect the activity to increase if it's taken off the market for additional purchase. This property was a rental property. The seller was in California. He did no maintenance. It needed a ton of work. And so that's why you see this feedback. Buyer didn't like it, too much work. Still looking, too much work, too much work, too much work was really common. And then my recommendation, he agreed to get a bid from a local contractor to see what it would cost to get the property up to good retail condition. And we started at 250, which I thought was high, but I've learned in this market, hey, you want to list it there, we'll list it high. The market will respond quickly, and you'll get your weekly reports. We'll see if we're priced correctly or not. So at the 250, you look at the showing activity. The price didn't scare people off, but the condition did. So so I always do, here's the inquiries and showings, here's the offers, here's my analysis, here's my recommendation. Every week that I try to do that. This one, I went in a little more detail. And you'll see there's some inconsistency here, which reinforces that you need to sit down and have your system figured out so that you're doing the highest quality each time. This is a different property, a strange layout. The neighbors across the street had a lot of cars in the front yard they were working on. They were noisy. and the property was over improved. It was priced too high. We had good market response. We did a price reduction down to 300,000. This was the comparison of the MLS activity. Zillow's trending up. Realtor.com trending down a little bit. The Facebook ad is doing pretty well. It did much better. And then nothing on the YouTube that week. Last week it had 62. So a little explanation about the calls and showings. My analysis, the online activity is still good. I'm optimistic. One of the two buyers will make an offer. I believe the current list price will result in an offer soon. Recommend no changes. Please call me after you review this report. So this is the format that I really like to use because it really gives a good visual of what's going on. So the blue are the views. We started out really great, fell down, came up, but the favorites are trending up. The Zillow views, price reduction, look at the spike in views. Price reduction, spike in views. So this data is really, really valuable to help illustrate how the market's responding to what you're doing with the listing. Realtor.com, the search is in the blue, the views, what we would expect to see. Again, you'll notice the correlation between price reductions and views. This is the engagement on Facebook. And I just did a screenshot off of the Facebook analytics. So in today's market, when you're selling a house in a weekend or in a couple of weeks, not a lot of value in this, but this is not going to be a super strong seller's market for forever. And we do have those challenging listings that are going to be on the market for more than a few weeks. So I think it's really helpful. I was telling Laurel, I need to show you how I do this. So this is Microsoft Excel. I manually, every Monday morning, I manually enter in, how many searches, how many views, and how many favorites. And this is off the MLS hit counter. The MLS hit counter is cumulative. So if you just send that to them every week, a screenshot of that, which is kind of wide and hard to deal with anyway, you really don't get to see the trends like you can when you graph it out like this. And when we have our Excel class, I'll spend a little bit of time to show you how to create nice looking graphs like this. Zillow is the one that does it day by day. And so I just go back and review. I go to that listing page on Zillow. I just take the numbers and move them over here. And again, Zillow just went away. That happens every now and then where they just stop providing data. Realtor.com. So they're a weekly report as well. And so, I just take that data, plug it in here real quick, and then update these graphs. So that's it in 25 minutes. Any questions, comments?
I'm actually impressed with those graphs. Every time I wondered how you did them, so that's helpful. So there's going to be another class on Excel, right?
Yes, that's okay. Coming up. Gosh, I forget what day.
Soon.
Yeah, maybe it's next Tuesday, the Tuesday after. I forget. I think it's the Tuesday after. I was a straight D student in math the whole time I was in school. I had no interest in it, but I love Excel because it does the math for me. I rarely use a calculator. I use Excel because, well, like, say you do a referral and you're trying to figure out what your piece of the commission is. Excel is great for that. It's a hassle doing that with just a regular calculator. So I'll be getting with my nephew and see if I can get this into an app where it's easier for people to use. A lot of people aren't good with Excel and doing graphs and that kind of stuff. So the feedback that I've gotten from sellers, they always come back when they're going to sell again, particularly if they've had experience with other realtors. They just love the fact that every week they get to see what's going on. And the guy with the farm and ranch, he says, it's going to be on the market a long time. And we were concerned that you might just kind of forget about it and put it off to the side. And obviously you haven't done that. And we really appreciate that. So it just shows that you're actively working it, and you're communicating well. And that number one complaint that we don't communicate well, you just wipe that out.
Good job. That was a good. I learned a lot. So thanks for including me on it. So it made me learn something.
Good deal.
Thank
All
you,
right,
man.
You betcha. Anything else y'all would like to talk about? Okie doke.
I'm
Short
good.
and sweet. I like it. Let's get on with the rest of our day.
Yeah, here we go. See you
All right,
later, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.